Hello beauties! In today's video, I want to talk about the feminine energy and in particular focus on one property of the feminine that is extremely potent to attracting men. And I firmly believe if you learn to harness this and you put these things into place that I'm about to share with you, you'll see a dramatic difference to the way men respond to you and how your love life overall will go. I am Katie and I'm a dating coach and relationship expert. I help smart, ambitious, and successful women attract and keep amazing love and amazing men in their life. If that sounds like you, please subscribe to my channel. I release videos every week, so you want to be notified anytime I release videos. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. If you're also interested to up-level your love life and really accelerate your progress to really get the love and the man that you want, you may want to consider working with me, working one-on-one with me. It is one thing to try to do this stuff on your own, and that can take a long time because we need to do our own trial and error, figure out what works, what doesn't, and sometimes it's hard to see what we're doing, what kind of mistakes we could be making. So this is where the value of bringing in an expert, bringing in a coach to step you along the way and to really accelerate your progress is a great benefit. So that is something you can try if you are struggling and you really want to know how to fast forward this and get that love and that man that you want. So the one property of the feminine that will dramatically change the way men respond to you is the willingness to ask and receive. Now let's break this down. So there's two components to this. Let's start with asking. I find many women have difficulty asking for help, asking for what they want. And I think the reason we struggle with this is because we don't want to feel like we're putting someone out or we're being selfish and demanding. And it can also come across as if we could feel like we're inadequate or incapable of doing something ourselves. And we don't want to be that. We want to be independent, we don't want to be strong, we want to show we're capable, okay? So that's where a lot of women struggle with the asking portion of this. And it makes sense because to ask, it feels vulnerable, it feels uncomfortable. We're essentially putting ourselves out there to potentially get rejected, okay, get a no, and that feels very uncomfortable. I want to offer that asking is one of the best ways we can honor our feminine, okay? So it has nothing to do with your capabilities as a woman, okay? It doesn't mean anything about, your adequacy, inadequacy, or anything like that. But it has everything to do with your feminine and just asking for the things that you want. Recently, I read this book. The book was called Lean In, and she'd written this book. She's the CEO of Facebook, and she wrote this book to inspire other women in the corporate world who are in the management or upper positions to speak up more. Because women have a tendency to stay quiet, to want to play it safe, to not speak up and to not ask for a raise or to ask for what they need as a woman. So I read that book and it was very interesting. And then I was listening to one of my coaches and she was talking about a study that they had did at universities. And it was a study done on recent graduates, and despite having the same or similar qualifications and credentials, the men's salaries was 7.6% higher than women's. And they dug a little bit deeper. They surveyed these graduates to find out what's going on. Why is this so? And they discovered that more than 50% of men had asked for more money when they were getting hired, and only 7% of women had asked for more money. Okay, so this discrepancy in pay between men and women, it seems it's tied, it's linked with the ability to ask for more. That's it, just asking for more. And I think this is so relevant to our relationships too. So I want to encourage you to ask for what you want, okay? Ask for what you want, because this is how we get what we want. Okay, we have to ask for it. Now, in terms of how to ask, we want to start looking for opportunities. So when we're first dating a man, there's lots of opportunities to ask for help, to ask for advice, ask for assistance with something. Ask him to carry your bags. Ask him to pass the salt. Ask him his opinion about a small work problem that you're having, or even ask his opinion about a social problem that you're having, like a family problem or a friendship problem. It could be anything, right? Small stuff. We're not asking men to solve the mysteries of the universe, but simple things we can just ask. Ask for his opinion, ask for his advice, ask for his assistance. And this ties in great with the next component, which is receiving. Because once we ask and he gives us what we're asking, now we have the opportunity to receive. And as it turns out, women are just as bad at receiving as asking. Okay? A lot of us feel awkward about receiving. When I was a teenager, I had my first boyfriend, and I remember he was meeting me after school, and when he met with me, he had a rose in his hand. So he was giving me a rose. And this was the first time I had ever had a boy give me a rose. And I felt extremely uncomfortable and awkward inside. Like, I accepted the rose, I acted nice, I said thank you. I didn't want to be rude, of course, but inside I felt very uncomfortable because I have never experienced that before. So as we were walking home, he was walking me home, I was holding this rose, but I didn't really know what to do with it. So I was like swinging it around as I was walking, because I just didn't know like how to hold it, I guess. And I swung the rose, and we were just walking past a parked car. And then the rose had caught onto the windshield. And when I went like that, it basically tore off the head of the rose and broke the whole thing. Okay, the rose fell apart. And I was like, oh, sorry. Like, I was just awkward in that moment. And then I was like, quickly, let's move on, right? Well, I was awkward about the whole thing anyway. So I just I just wanted to be over and let's move on to the next thing. Looking back, I probably traumatized him. I'm pretty sure I traumatized him, because he didn't buy me another rose or any flowers after that. But I tell that story to illustrate how we can be awkward about receiving. I know this is something I have struggled with, and I've been working on this. I've gotten a lot better about this over the years, and now I'm very deliberate and intentional. I'm always looking for ways to thank my husband, not only when he does something directly for me, like bring me a rose or bring me a present, but even when he does indirect things, like cleaning up the kitchen, doing the laundry, cleaning the floor. It could be anything. I'm always looking for ways to thank my husband, because I want him to feel good. I want to know I'm receiving his gifts, the things he's doing, I'm appreciating. That's how I'm receiving, and I want him to know that. I'm vocal about that. I'm not just like keeping that inside, okay? So that's one way we can be bad at receiving. The second way is when we receive, a lot of times we feel obligated to give back. Okay, and this creates a one-for-one dynamic and what I call scorekeeping. So when someone gives to us, and we feel obligated to give back, we are keeping score because we want things to be balanced and equal and fair. So it becomes a one-for-one transaction. This mentality, this scorekeeping mentality, although it sounds innocent, is in fact extremely toxic. And you see this everywhere, right? You see women are super excited when a guy does something for her, and she's super appreciative, but then as soon as he, does something bad or goes behind her back or lies to her about something, she withholds love, okay? Because she wants to punish him, because it's that one-for-one exchange. If he does something bad to you, you want to do something bad to him. That kind of mentality won't lead you to the relationship you want, okay? You will box yourself in to a corner. It is very limiting with that kind of one-for-one scorekeeping mentality. Your relationship has nowhere to go, right? It has nowhere to go. What you want to be thinking about is how to receive just for the sake of receiving, with no strings attached, with no expectation that you're gonna have to give back. Once you learn how to do that, and only then can you give just for the sake of giving, okay? Without strings attached, without needing to, without expecting anything back. That's how it works. And when you can receive unlimited quantities without feeling obligated to give back, and you can give unlimited amounts without expecting anything back, that's when relationships blow up and become abundant. That's when you can grow, and you can grow in unlimited proportions, right? The depth of your relationship, how intimate, how much connection you have, how much passion you have, how much love you express to each other. It becomes deeper and purer, and it can be strengthened the further on it goes, rather than being limited to that scorekeeping one-for-one exchange, which that has nowhere to go. Like you will never go anywhere with that kind of thinking, and you see this all the time, right? So your relationship starts off great, right? Because everybody's in that honeymoon period, giving, receiving, giving, no one's keeping score in the beginning. But then 1 year, 2 years later, it is about scorekeeping now. It's about, what are you giving to me? If you're giving me enough, then I'll give you back. If you're not giving me enough, then I'm out of here, or I'm restricting love, I'm punishing you. Okay, this is very common in our culture, and I see a lot of women, if a guy they like is asking them out, a lot of them the next week will ask that guy out. They will reciprocate. But if a guy they don't like was to ask him out, was to buy them a drink, they immediately reject that guy because they don't want to feel obligated to give back, right? So they immediately close themselves off. And once again, if you close yourself up to receiving, you will probably not ask, you will not give, and everything's shut down. No connection can thrive in that environment. Everybody's shut off from each other. Everyone's cold and disconnected. So remember, receive for the sake of receiving, give for the sake of giving. That's it. No strings attached, no expectations. This is how we really open up to the universe, to all kinds of opportunities. So that is how I would like you to ask and receive. And once you do that and you really practice this and you're conscious of it, you're aware of it, you are intentional about it, about where you may limit how much you're receiving and how much you're asking, because the two are tied together, right? If you're bad at asking, you're probably bad at receiving. That's my video for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you like this video, please like me. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if this is something that you struggle with. And once again, if you'd like to up-level your love life, you can check out how to work with me. Simply go to katiecoach.com. That's all from me this week. I will talk to you next week with another great video.